Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, hola.
Mm, 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 mm. Let me drop this message in the chat. How's everybody doing? That bad, huh?
Good.
Uh, Hopefully everybody had a profitable week. All right, we'll start in like 2 minutes. Are there any new traders in here? I see a couple of names that I don't recognize, but I don't know how new you are. Anyone? Anyone?
What you say, time?
I said, are there any new traders in here? New. N-E-W. Elfie, are you new?
Yes.
Cheyenne, are you new? Kiaria, are you new? Hopefully I'm not slaughtering your name. You've been in here, Cheyenne? Or are you just new to the group? Did I slaughter your name? Key? Okay.
It's Kiera.
Kiara, okay.
Mhm.
How you doing, Kiara? Where are you from, Kiara?
I'm from Kansas City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Kansas City is all right.
Yeah, I've been trading probably about like 3 years. I'm just new to the group though.
Okay, well, welcome. Are you a what style of trader are you?
I'm more of a swing trader, but I like to move around a little bit. Sometimes I scalp, sometimes I swing. It just depends on, what I'm feeling at the time.
Okay. All righty. I had a few good discussions with folks this week. I think for the most part, people are getting the hang of at least how I trade. I don't know, individually if people are trading their own strategy, what type of success that people are having, but it seems to me that lately we've kind of turned a corner. So I'm happy about that, but I just want to make sure that people aren't left behind or whatnot. And I know sometimes when we add new people to the group, it's kind of like uh, there are different languages being spoken. So I tend to trade smart money. Some of you guys don't trade smart money, which is fine. If you're successful, you're successful. But if you have not found a level of success, I would encourage you to trade like, the people who have found success trade. So if that means adapting some smart money concepts, by all means, I encourage you to do that. There are many videos on my YouTube page, but if you're not a fan of the way I instruct or the way I speak, or you can't get a concept that I try to put out, by all means, utilize YouTube. Type in what you're searching for, and the information, in the form of several videos will actually pop up. So utilize YouTube to the best of your ability to get, I guess, to maximize the information. You don't necessarily have to consume one person's method. You can consume many people's method and then take the best explanation you get, and you can further your trading, or you can make things make sense to you as a trader. I'd just like to encourage everybody to do that. And I would also um, encourage you guys who have skills, who have, found things that work for you, to share with the group. It doesn't necessarily have to be me. Um, I appreciate Kim for getting on the platform and sharing her expertise with the group. If there are others who have things that they found that work, share them with the group, please. This is a free group. The power that we get from this group is the power to collaborate. The power to give and receive information freely. But it will not work if we have everybody holding on to their information because they don't think other people can use it. Um, a lot of us do our own analysis, which I encourage. I've started stepping back from doing the analysis, in an effort to get everybody else involved. Many of you share trade ideas. Thank you for doing that. Whether it's TT, Mountain View, Leandra, Will, whoever. I appreciate you guys for dropping your trade ideas. I like to encourage more people, to drop ideas, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? If you see the market a certain way, drop it in the group, man. You can only benefit from somebody else critiquing your idea or having a different viewpoint. A lot of times we have blinders that we put on, and we only see the market the way we see it. But if somebody else has an opposing view, maybe that can help us avoid a trade, setup maybe that isn't great, or it can help us uh, not get caught in a bad situation. Maybe we're flexible enough to go either way. Maybe we think it's a buy, somebody else thinks it's a sell, and we get in for the buy and start selling, and we can go the opposite way with the trade. The beautiful thing about forex is you can make money buying or selling. So let's not pigeonhole ourselves into one way of doing business. So again, I just encourage everybody to share their trade ideas. There's sections for that, trade ideas, whether they're smart money, whether they're support and resistance. Many of us, in the group would benefit from everybody sharing trade ideas. It was also brought to my attention during a one-on-one yesterday that many of us have skill sets in our private lives that some of us may be looking for, whether you are a digital creator, whether you are, some sort of accountant or some sort of specialist, in your field, or you have a niche that works. We probably need to create a page, maybe if you want to share something that you do on the outside of the forex group, maybe you can put your skill set, maybe others are looking for it. While this platform is a free site, maybe you have a personal business that you run on the side. Now, what I don't want to do is be responsible for somebody's bad business practices. But if you have a business that you do, or you have a special skill that you're involved with, maybe you can list what you do. And then if somebody is looking for that skill set, you guys can link up one-on-one. If you guys talk and you want to do business, so be it. I just think it would be a travesty to be involved in a group and everybody has a skill set, and maybe you could be a benefit, to somebody in the group, and they don't know that you do that skill set. So it's just a thought, maybe I'll try to create that page later on today. But it was a great idea, and it was brought up to me at the time. And I know we had some issues with the bot, but I think Justin came forward and rectified it. To my knowledge, I don't really follow it too closely, but as long as the business benefits people, and maybe you have people in this group that want to patronize your business, or maybe they just have a small issue and it doesn't cost any money. The connections of the group can benefit you, just like the actual patronization of your skill set. So today I wanted to kind of hit on trading psychology. I think now is more important than any time we've done this before. And the reason I say that is because I think more of us have found a level of success. So when you find success, your mind is the only thing that you're fighting against, right? You find success, you generate profit, you do it for a couple of weeks. There's no doubt in your mind that it works. Whatever you're doing, it works. And that's why you're successful. Okay, Leandra, everything you're doing has proven to be successful. But sometimes we tweak things unnecessarily, and then we start losing again. So we need to refocus our minds on what made us successful, or refocus what we're doing on what made us successful. Maybe you have to come out of your actual account and get in your demo for a little while, or whatever the case may be. Whatever that looks like, whatever that process looks like for you. I just want you to know that it happens, and it's not a ding on you. It happens to everybody. But the edge that we have as traders is that traders have self-control, right? So when you recognize there's a problem, it's on you as a trader to back away. You as the trader has to say, okay, there's an issue here. I need to address this issue. So I have a video. It's about a 15-minute video on trading psychology that I would like to share. Then we'll come back and we can have a discussion about it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about trading psychology. I whipped out the professional camera for this. It's a new kind of style that I want to bring to the YouTube channel. So if you guys do enjoy these kind of videos, definitely make sure to like the video, comment down below letting me know. But yeah, no charts this time, just me. So let's talk about some trading psychology. And as always, if you guys do find value in this video, make sure to smash that like button as well as clicking that subscribe and that bell icon. It would mean the absolute world to me. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. And then real quick, in case you guys did not know, I do have a 450-page book on Amazon titled The New Age of Technical Analysis. In this book, I go over my entire day trading and swing trading strategy, all the indicators I use, how to find support and resistance, price targets, rejects, bounces, Fibonacci, so on and so forth. So if you guys do want to check this out, it is currently 20% off on Amazon, The New Age of Technical Analysis. The link will be down in the description. All right, so like I said, I wanted to talk more about trading psychology in this video. This is something that I didn't touch on early in my trading career, and I really wish I did. There's a lot of helpful books that I will be giving you guys in this video that you can go and read that will also help you with your trading psychology. But for today, I wanted to talk more so about the trading psychology when it comes to actively taking trades and actively taking losses in the market. Now, when we enter a trade in the market, we never know if it is going to be a winning trade or if it's going to be a losing trade. The best thing that we can do as traders is we can identify those low risk but high reward entries. But from there, we never know if it's going to move in our favor. Now, I see a lot of people, they get upset when they take a losing trade. And honestly, as a newer trader, that was something that I personally did as well. It didn't matter if I lost 5% or 10% on a contract, or maybe even slightly red. I saw that red trade as a bad trade, that I lost money. And as a result, I started to get into my head, started to think that I'm a bad trader, and the list just goes on from there. Now, going forward, I started to think of red trades a little differently. I don't look at it as I'm losing money. I look at it as, did I follow my plan? Did I follow my risk? And did I get stopped out at my predetermined stop loss? If all of those happen, then to me, that was still a good trade. Now, another thing that's happened to me in the past, and a lot of traders, I see this happen to them as well, they get stopped out and then the stock goes in their direction. And they're like, oh, well, what happened if I held the contracts? I'd be in the profits now. That is a very, very bad place that you do not want to be in as a trader. You always need to follow your risk management. The second that you continue to hold and you start thinking back to the last time, or if you would have just held the position that it went into profits, well, more than likely the next time that that happens, the trade is going to go significantly against you and you are going to lose a good chunk of your account. So again, as a trader, you need to start looking at red trades a little differently. A lot of people just get really upset that the trade was red, but if you took a small loss and you followed your plan, in my opinion, that is still a winning trade. There was a tweet that I put out the other day that said, learn from your losses because you paid for them. That is a fantastic quote right there, because in every single loss, there is a lesson. What you can do with those small losses, again, the most important thing is that you are taking small losses. You are not letting the trade go significantly against you. That's why I preach sniper entries, because you always get that low risk, high reward setup. So even if you do have a losing trade, go back and journal through it. What went wrong? Maybe you ended up going short on QQQ slightly early when it wasn't at your level. You journal that. You review it. That way you know in the future, okay, wait for QQQ to hit my level, because if I start making a bad habit of getting in early, more than likely the loss is going to be larger than what I wanted it to be when it actually gets to my entry. Hopefully that makes sense. But yes, losses are lessened. The most important thing that I'm going to keep repeating is that your losses are small. Now, if you're letting your losses go significantly against you and you're oversizing, then that's an issue that you definitely want to touch on. A trade going -10, -15% against you should never, ever blow your account. And you should never lose your weekly or even daily profits just based off a 10, to 15% loss per contract. And this psychology video, it's kind of going to be all over the place. I don't have it scripted. I'm just speaking what comes to my head. But I also want to talk about when it does come to that position sizing again, because if you have a small loss, but it's a really big loss for your account, again, like a small percentage, but it really hurts your account, that oversizing portion, what you need to realize is that every single trade, again, you don't know if it's going to be a winner. You don't know if it's going to be a loser. But what you do know is how much you are willing to lose per trade. So before you enter the next trade, what you need to do is you need to tell yourself, I am willing to risk this much. And that is how you determine your position size. Let's just say that you are comfortable with losing $200. You should never position yourself in a way that if your loss is hit, that you'll lose 400. If that ends up happening, more than likely you're going to have that emotional response. But if you position yourself in a certain way that if that negative $200 loss is hit, you simply move on to the next trade. Again, don't look at it as a bad trade because your stop loss was hit. Look at it that one, you followed your plan, you followed your stop loss, it hit your stop loss, go back, journal, there's a lesson to be learned, and then you move on to the next trade. Now, another thing that I wanted to touch on about trading psychology is a lot of traders, they experience different emotions. Some traders hesitate, some traders are angry, some traders are fearful, and the list just goes on and on of those emotions. More than likely in your trading, there are either one or two major emotions that are impacting your trading in a negative way. Now, what a lot of traders don't realize is that those emotions that are impacting your trading are more than likely tied to something that has happened earlier in your life. So maybe you're somebody who's really greedy in the market. Greed is something I've never personally struggled with, but this is how you would look at it. Okay, I'm greedy in the market. I'm not taking my profits. And then as a result of that, the trade is coming back towards break even and then eventually going red. So if you're somebody who is very greedy in the market, start looking throughout your life and start realizing, okay, well, maybe this is the reason why I was greedy. So a good example would be maybe you went to school and you got B's on your report card or whatever it may be, A minuses, and your parents didn't think that that was good enough. And as a result, again, if that happens over and over, it could be a number of different reasons why this happens, but I'm just using this example. You don't think that's good enough, so you become an overachiever, and as a result that can bleed into your trading. You don't think your profits are enough, you want to be that overachiever, hit that home run, and as a result you're waiting to hit that home run just for the trade to never hit it and eventually stop you out. Or maybe you're somebody who hesitates in the market when a trade is giving you your signal to go long or short, you hesitate, and as a result you miss the trade. Again, going back to the school example, maybe when you were in class, you would constantly get called on by the teacher. You would give the wrong answer. Everybody would laugh at you. And as a result, that started to build something in you to fear that failure. And you would rather stay on the safe side, avoid the trade overall. That way you don't feel like a failure if you get the trade wrong. So something that I personally ended up doing to get over my major psychological roadblocks in my trading was I sat down with a notepad and I wrote down every single reason that I could think of that could result in that specific emotion in my trading. So once I was able to sit down and write every single thing out and slowly start letting go of those past memories, that's when I started to see those emotions no longer really play a role in my trading. Every now and then they will pop up, but you got to remind yourself that those thoughts are flawed. What happened in the past is the past, and what we are seeing today in the market provides us opportunity to make money off of. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video on trading psychology. Again, let me know if you guys like this. Definitely do more videos with just the camera and then the screens in the background. But as far as the books that I would highly suggest for trading psychology, the very first one is going to be The Mental Game of Trading, an absolutely fantastic trading psychology book. The second one I believe is called The Daily Trading Coach. And then the third one is actually going to be called Letting Go, The Path to Surrender. Again, as I discussed earlier, being able to let go of those past experiences is something that helped me a lot. And that is what I learned from letting go. But yeah, that's going to wrap up this video. So as always, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button as well as clicking that subscribe and that bell icon. It would mean the absolute world to me.
Yeah, whatever. All right, but you get the point. The risk management piece, guys, I can't stress this enough. If you guys stick to your risk management piece, you know, when you go through your losses, it will pay you dividends, right? Because at some point, when you go through your series of losses, the only thing that will matter is if you're abiding by your risk management. Now, I know we have a strategy that's a little bit more effective because we use the higher time frame, right? And some of you may or may not be comfortable with the risk parameters that I suggested, right? So maybe you just want to risk 2% per trade. Totally fine. I mean, that's totally up to you guys. You want to risk 0.5%, totally fine. Totally up to you guys. You just have to understand that if you're using the God's plan strategy, where you have the 100 pip stop loss and 100 pip take profit, it's a 1-to-1, right? And so far, we're in the high 90s as far as percentage of wins. So you can use that, without an issue. As long as the market conditions don't change on us, then we don't have to worry about changing anything in the strategy. You're just going to basically win whatever you risk, which is not a problem for me, and it shouldn't be a problem to you guys as long as you're winning, right? There is a way to increase your win percentage, and that is to become familiar with how to drop down and utilize your various time frames. If you can drop down to the 4-hour or get you an entry on the 15-minute, of course, your risk to reward goes way up. But you have to understand that when you start doing those things, when you start dropping down to those time frames, you are opening yourself up, to a greater risk if you don't know what you're doing. So if you know that you are new, or you have not been successful previously, when you start dropping down to those time frames, just stick to your 1-to-1, and just earn your money that way. Do I have any questions over the trading psychology video or the risk parameters? Not. Bueller. Does anybody have an issue with the strategy?
I don't have any questions, Todd. I mean, I know for me personally, psychology has always been my biggest downfall, but I think I'm finally getting there as far as the psychology is concerned. And then maneuvering towards God's plan has helped me out a lot with that, because I'm not nearly on the charts as much as I used to be, because normally I'm on the charts. I have my work computer set up and my personal computer set up, and I'm literally, sitting there all day. And then Sunday, and I don't go to sleep. I would stay up all night. So I think it's always good to go back and tie into, reevaluate where you are psychology wise. So I'll say the last month is the most sleep I've gotten since I started taking forex seriously.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
I think that that's an excellent point, and it's something that I probably need to stress a little bit more. So once you have your trade parameters, once you analyze the charts, once you identify your trade and your trade setup, and you input that into your MT4 app, you can't continue to go back and look at the charts. That's not the way it works. When you have your parameters and you're comfortable with your trade setup, and you have your entry and you enter into that trade, when you enter that trade, you have a stop loss and you have a take profit. Once the trade is input, that it's out of your hands. You're not there to take yourself in and out of the trade. Once you start doing that, you're going to start screwing your own money up because you've already identified your trade setup. You've already identified what invalidates your trade. That's why you put your stop loss there. And then you've already identified where the trade should go. Leave it alone at that point. At that point, the stop loss and the take profit is your trade manager. You're only here to manage a trade, add to it or what have you, as the trade goes. You don't have to go and tinker with the trade that's already in there. If you're going to scale in and add to a trade, you wait for a pullback and then you add a position to that same trade. So hopefully everybody is understanding that that's how it should work, right? And if you don't have that understanding, if you've never recognized how you screw trades up, what I challenge you to do is put the trade in your real account and then put the trade in a demo. And when you go in and mess with your real account, don't mess with the demo. And at the end of the week, you look at the demo and look at your real account and see which one made the most money. And 9 times out of 10, your demo will have outperformed you because your mentality is not set up to do this. Your mentality is one of fear and greed. Fear and greed drive the market. That's why the banks have big wallets, because they take the money from you fearful, greedy mofos. So I encourage you guys to put your trade parameters in, put your trade in, and once it's running, just leave it alone. And that's why I suggested for you guys to delete the app if you have to, just let the trade do what it's supposed to do. All right. Does anybody else have anything that they want to share on this subject? Sharing is key. Sharing is key.
Okay, yes, it's me, Rosa. And I've been following the God's plan, correct? And it's been working. It has. And like that psychology video is going to help me, because what I do get the money, and then I will go back in there and do something else, try to get more. I said, oh yeah, this working. So that, and I got to sit down and, because it's greed for me. I get that money and it's like, oh yeah, this is working, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to get me some more, because I'm going to find another position, and and it goes back on me and I lose it. So that's what I got to work on, that psychology. I got to write down what is causing me to be so greedy, because I am making the money. I just can't keep it. That's right. What I want to share.
I appreciate that, Rosa. Listen, you're not alone in that, because with this God's plan, most of the time, we're going to be finished trading Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, right? That first week, we were finished trading on Thursday. So on Thursday, I was happy. Remember that first week we took I want to say it was UJ or EJ, and it took 4 days to pay out. And I said, man, I'm glad this happened the first week, because it forced us to wait to get paid. But here recently, depending on what trades you take, I mean, you might have got paid 2 hours into the session last week. And now you're forced to wait basically 6 days, until Friday comes to take your next trade setup. Or you'll go back in there and look for additional setups to get additional fees. So please understand that you're here to make a profit, right? So once you have that profit, you have to go in before the week and say, okay, I'm going to take 1 trade, or I'm going to take 2 trades. If you win that trade, don't go back and look for more trouble. Sit on the sideline, or if you absolutely have to get back in the market, utilize a demo account, because using your real account to go back and get additional trades or win additional trades is not a guarantee, guys. It's an unnecessary risk. It's kind of like I was in the Army, for 20 years. And you do your time, you go to war, and your time is up, and they send you back, and you volunteer for another tour because you're greedy. You get tax-free money over there. You want to make a little bit of extra money. The next thing you know, you're on the wrong end of a sniper round, or you're at a celebration, somebody shoots some celebratory fire, and it comes back and kills you. I know of people that happened to. So we have to start looking at trading as a business and not as a casino. I mean, that's the way you do it. Most of us, with our paychecks, we budget our money, or we have a set amount. Even if we don't budget it down to the nth degree, we have a set amount. We know we got to pay our mortgage/rent. We got to buy food. We got to buy fuel. We have to pay car notes. So you have funds earmarked for certain things. So I think you should treat your trading the same way. And what I mean by that is, if you're risking 2% or 4% on a trade, once that pays off, you have to set that money to the side as untouchable. So maybe if you win 6% on a trade, you say, okay, I'm going to at least end this week with 4% or 5%. I'll risk 1% of the trade that I won on a new trade idea. And if you win, that's great. And if you lose, you're done. If you don't come up with these parameters before you start trading, you're screwed. You're screwed because you're fly by the pants, willy-nilly. There are no rules. There are no laws. If your trading has no rules, there is nothing to prevent you from going hog wild. That's the way it works. That is the purpose of your trading plan. You need to tweak your trading plan if you haven't already, with this God's plan strategy. And you have to identify what percentage you will end up with that week. So if you know you're trading 4% off rip, maybe you say, hey, if I win that first trade and I get that 4%, I'm going to not touch 3%, and I'll go back in with 1%, or 3.5%, and I'll go in with 0.5% for a new trade idea. That's the only way that you are going to find and keep a level of success. Is everybody tracking? You guys understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's important to do it before you start taking these trades, guys. I can't stress that enough. Don't wait until after. Do it before. Thank you for sharing that, Rosa. That's a very important piece, and a lot of times we don't talk about that. A lot of times we just take trade after trade, trade after trade, trade after trade. You have to have a off switch, and if you don't have it, if you haven't identified how many trades you're taking this week, then we're doomed from the start. Anybody else? I know some other people have the issue.
Oliver clip. It dovetails right into the subject matter.
Bueller. I knew y'all weren't going to have I knew y'all weren't going to want to share.
Since they don't play the Oliver clip.
for your listening pleasure, folks.
No one in this entire world can ever fault me, Oliver Velez, for not sticking the cons in your face. Every time I grab a mic, every time I have been offered the ability to speak from a stage or a podium or speak into a mic, whether it's from my desk or whether it's for an organization or whether it's for a trading group, for the last 26 years, being a devoted evangelist for this industry, I have never skipped an opportunity to put the cons in your face, because I think the cons, understanding them, is actually more important than recognizing and understanding the pros. Let's get to the cons. Number one, con number one is the most important con of all. The odds are against you. Traders, listen to me carefully. The odds are against you. Traders, listen to me carefully. The odds are against you. One more time, listen to me carefully. You will never be able to fault me for failing to tell you this, for failing to put it in your face, for failing to shout it as loud as I possibly can. The odds are against you. Why? Because there's a 92% failure rate in the short-term oriented trading space. That's right. 92% of every one of you listening here will fail. 92% won't make it, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work at it, no matter what your intentions are. 92% failure rate, and not me, not any firm in the United States, not any firm internationally, not any expert, not any mentor, not any trader, not any trainer, not any mentor can change this statistical fact. It is etched in stone. 92% failure rate. Now breathe that in, traders. I need you to understand this. I need you to understand what you're up against, because you ultimately, at the end of the day, are going to have to answer this question. This one very, very important question, traders. You're going to have to answer this. Do you understand? You're going to have to answer this. Do I have what it takes to be the 8%? Guys, this is a simple game, but it's not easy. There is a huge difference between simplicity and easy. It's simple. Markets go up, markets go down. Sometimes they go sideways. 3 possibilities: up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways. That's a simple rudimentary mechanism. But I am the last person on planet Earth that will tell you that this activity called day trading in particular is easy. It's not easy. In fact, it's one of the most challenging activities you as a human being will ever pick up. Do you know why? Because in order for there to even be a hope for mastering the market, you have to first master yourself. And let's face it, how many people actually master themselves in this world? How many people actually reach a point where they do what they say they're going to do? How many people really keep their promises to their kids, their wives, their husbands, their community at large, their societies, their personal God? Very few people reach the point in their life in anything where they have accumulated or accomplished self-mastery. But the only way to have any chance at success at this is to first master yourself. You can't take an unmastered you into the market and think that there's going to be success in the market. You can't take an undisciplined you and go find success. You can't take an untrained you and go into the market with your untrained self and think that you and your untrained state is going to pull money out of the markets. Won't happen. You can't be an ill-informed individual and take your ill-informed self into the market and pull money out of the markets. You can't take your unmastered self. You can't take your undisciplined self. You can't take your untrained self. You can't take your uneducated self. You can't take your uninformed self. You can't take who you are right now without changing yourself first. You can't take who you are right now and take who you are right now in the market and expect the market to give you money. So what must happen? You must first change. You must first go through a metamorphosis. You must first become educated. You must first become Discipline. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you work on, like your muscles. You got to hit this thing up every couple of days, every day of the week, if you will, to build that muscle, to build that, to build that capability. You have to work on becoming disciplined. You have to work on becoming educated. You have to work on becoming experienced. This work happens first. And it is this work that transforms who you are. Then you take the transformed you into the market, and it is that transformed you that starts producing progress. But if you think that you can stay who you are without putting work into creating the change you need in yourself, if you think that there's just, I take this 2-day course and I go into the market, 2 days, it's not enough to change who you are. Take this 2-day course, go into the market, open up an account, and I should become rich in the next few weeks, then you should really find another freaking planet to work on, because you are living somewhere in outer space, not here on planet Earth. I don't know about any other planets, but that doesn't work here, not on planet Earth. I have yet to do intergalactic travel. I'm waiting for Elon Musk or somebody to make that possible. But until then, I only know what the situation here is on planet Earth. This industry has a 92% failure rate, largely because people don't want to go through what it takes to become someone different first. They want to stay who they are and take who they are into the market and take money out of the market. It will never happen. My mother used to say, Oliver, never say never. Oh, never say never, Oliver. Well, I'm telling you, Mom, sorry, never. Let me say it again. Never. All right, guys. I know I'm silly, but it's a point worth. I'm telling you, it's a point worth belaboring. All right? 92% failure rate. Get it locked into your head. Most people know nothing about financial markets. They think they do. Oh, well, the market goes up and the market goes down, right, Oliver? That's it? Yeah, that's pretty. Most people know nothing about financial markets. That's a con. Here's another big one, guys. Success comes after experience, and experience takes time, years. You can't be an experienced trader in 2 days. You can't be an experienced trader in 2 weeks. You can't be an experienced trader in 2 months. Becoming experienced takes time. You can't cheat experience. All right? Anything good that happens before you are experienced is called luck, traders. Only what happens after experience can you claim as yours. Listen to me carefully. You can't become successful before you become experienced. Get this in your head, people. You cannot experience true, real success before you become experienced. True, real success comes after you become experienced. And what's required to become experienced? Time. This is what people do not want to put into this. They want a microwave. They want a microwave results. Can I have my gourmet meal in 15 seconds? No, you cannot. This is the #1 reason why there are so many scams in this industry, because these scammers, right, which even I, believe it or not, have been accused of. Are you kidding me? Putting this truth in your face? How? But this is the #1 reason that scammers in this industry get away with their scams because they sell you on the idea that anyone can do this. They do not tell you that 92% of the people are going to fail. They do not tell you that this is difficult. They do not tell you that you're going to fail first until you become experienced. They do not tell you that experience takes time. They do not tell you that success happens after experience. And before your experience, you're going to be a loser. The reason why, how many people are in this room? There's 427 people in this room instead of 40,000 people in this room. Do you know why? Do you know why there's only 400 people here instead of 40,000 people? Because I tell you this truth, 92% of you are not going to make it. There's only 400 people here because I tell you that success comes after experience. There's only 400 people here because I tell you that experience takes time. There's only 400 people here because I tell you what's real in this industry. If I went at 40,000 people in this room, I would constantly preach from every podium I can that everyone can do this, that you're all going to be successful, that it doesn't take time. Just follow these 3 things and get rich. I would have 40,000 people in this room. But I will never do that. You learn how to win in this business by first learning how to lose. Can I repeat that for you? You learn how to win by first learning how to lose. What does that mean, traders? You're going to lose first. What does that mean? You are going to become an expert loser before you see a single dollar, before you get winning trades consistently, before you call yourself a success, before you start to support yourself with this activity. You are going to be one of the greatest losing traders you have ever seen. You're going to become an expert at losing. You're going to become so intimate with losing, you're going to feel like this is just your natural state. You lose your way to success in this business. There is no way to win first because winning doesn't come before your experience. Experience comes after you have lost tens of thousands of times. Guys, listen to me carefully. I get very, very emotional about this, and I apologize. It's just the way it is. This is just me. I get emotional about this because I need all of you to understand this. There is a direct link between how much you lose first and how successful you are later. And isn't it ironic that what all of you are trying to do is you're trying not to lose the very thing that you need to do. The very thing that you need to do now is to lose as much as you possibly can to get the losses out of the way now. You don't want the losses in the future. Just get the losses out of the way. Become so intimate with losing. Become so intimate with every possible error, every possible mistake. Know it like the back of your hand so that at some point, the market can no longer fool you. The market can no longer trick you. The market can no longer surprise you. You've been there. You've done that. You know every possible mistake that can be made. You know every possible error, every booby trap, every dead end. The market loses its ability to punch you without you seeing the punch coming. How do you get to that state? You become an expert loser. Why is this a con? It's a con because most people don't have enough money to get through the losing period that happens first. First of all, they enter the game with this Mickey Mouse Disney idea that I'm supposed to win from day one. This is not Disney World. I'm sorry. This is not a Disney movie. This is real life. It is impossible for you to win until you become experienced. And it is impossible to become experienced until after you have become the #1 expert at what? Losing. How does a baby learn to walk? By running first? Wait, I'm going to learn to walk by sprinting first in the Olympics. Then I'll learn to walk later. No, a baby learns to walk by first trying to stand and falling. Standing, falling. Trying to stand, fall, 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 fall less, fall less, stable, don't fall often, take a step, fall, take a step, fall, take a step, fall, take 2 steps, fall, take 2 steps, fall, take 3 steps, falling, 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 until the baby becomes so intimate with falling and all the reasons for falling that he naturally starts to avoid the reasons, but not before becoming intimate with every possible way to fall. Doctors tell us that parents who overly protect their children from falling wind up with clumsy kids, zero athletic ability, because they weren't allowed to fall enough. You lose your way to success at this business. Why is this a con? It's a con for 2 reasons. Number one, most people start off with a tiny bit of capital, and then they lose it because the first period has to be lost. The first period of a baby learning to walk has to be falling. You're always bad at something in the beginning. Always. First time you pick up a basketball, you're horrible. First time you put a golf club in your hands, you're really horrible. My golfers out there know that. The first time you try to kick a soccer ball and control it, you're horrible. The first time you try to walk, you're horrible. The first time you try to talk, you're terrible at it. You are bad at everything you start off, but somehow when it comes to this activity called day trading, that all of your common sense leaves your God-given head for some reason. And for some reason, this is the only activity that life is supposed to be different. No, I'm supposed to be good at this from day one, right? Really? You don't apply that common sense measure to anything else in life, but when it comes to this, you expect to be good right away. You expect not to fall. You expect not to lose. You expect to make the ball in the basket every single time. The first time you pick up a basketball, really? How can that be? Why is this supposed to be the exception to you? You're going to be bad at this. You're going to lose your money first. Absolutely. You're going to fall first. It's just the way life is. Again, I don't know about life on other planets. We're still waiting. But life here, you lose first in everything. In everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm laying down? Am I talking too much? I am frustrated at the level of naivete, and I am frustrated at I'm frustrated at the lack of common sense when it comes to my industry. I'm not.
All right. I think that was a great time to play the video, but more importantly, we've listened to this at least 5 times as a group. Let me tie some of this in, right? Those of you who started with me on WhatsApp that didn't understand any concept, right? That came from the nothing to where you are now. The Selenas, the Felicias, even Terrence, to a certain extent. Now you understand, infinitely more, right? You understand the concepts, you understand smart money terminology, you understand what to look for in the chart. And now you have a strategy aligned with the concept that works. All right. You can wash, rinse, and repeat every week. You expect to win. You're not hoping to win. We expect to win. When I put my trade in, I already know I can count this $4,000, or I can count this $8,000 if I get these 2 positions. Once you get there, right? This is the experience that Oliver Velez is speaking about. If we are curious about an entry to a trade, we know where to look. Hey, is there a fair value gap? I'm gonna enter this trade at or near the 78.6 pullback, but I'm not just using the number arbitrarily. I'm going to drop down in the time frame to identify the imbalance, the order block in that area that I know price is going to react from, and then I'm going to take the entry into the trade. That's exactly what Oliver Velez is referring to when he says you need to gain the experience. The market can't trick you anymore, right? It can't start going up and then you get in the trade and it pulls back to that order block on that 78. If you're going to take an entry early, you have the experience, the knowledge to know that you need to have an expanded stop loss to cover what's down there at the 78. There's nothing wrong with taking an entry at the 60 or at the 50. But if you take that entry, it better be a loose enough stop loss, a small enough position that can handle drawdown all the way down to that 78. That's the knowledge that you have as a trader. Hey, I'm going to sleep now. I want to enter this trade. I want to miss the trade. So I'll use a small enough position that can handle drawdown down to this level. And if it breaks that level, then my trade idea is invalid anyway. That's the experience that Oliver Velez is talking about. Situation number two, the situation that Rosa brought up. You do everything properly on Sunday. You wait that hour, you hop into the trade goes and hits your TP. Now you're up $4,000 if you're risking 4%. You made your 4K, that you never make it work. You never make 4K in a week at work, but you do it in the market. Why are you going back? What are you going back for, right? What I would like to know, and this is rhetorical, which one of you people are spending $4,000 a week? Like, where are you living? What are you driving? What are you eating that costs you $4K a week? That's the experience of understanding what you're really risking. It's kind of like if you hit the lotto, are you still playing the lotto? You already hit that mofo. Why are you still playing it? If you won the $1 billion lotto, how many of you will go right back the next week trying to win the lotto again? Think about that. Because if you're one of the ones that say, yeah, I would buy 100,000 tickets the next week, bruh, you have issues. And you have to work those issues out. You have to recognize the devil inside of you, the greed monster inside of you. And that's why would you be blessed with anything if you can't control yourself? Right? And for the ladies, man, the ladies that have no self-control, y'all should identify yourselves and go on these date apps and identify, hey, I'm Laura and I have no self-control. Because then you deserve a man who cheats on you because he don't have no self-control. And you should be able to understand and accept that. Right? Because you can't have expectations for somebody else that you don't place upon yourself. If you have no self-control, you deserve somebody with no self-control. And I know we're talking relationships, but it's important to start viewing your trading in a manner that will affect you personally, right? You need to internalize the trading. If you have no self-control, then do not expect me or somebody else in your life to have self-control, because you don't have it. You should automatically understand and not expect anybody else to have it. Self-control. Somebody shows you how to make $1 million, but you, in all your infinite wisdom, you want to know how to make 2 instead of making the $1 million over and over. That's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy. It's outrageous. And if somebody else acted like that in your life, you would be all over them. You would talk about them bad. You would probably hate them. You know, if they treated you in that manner, you would hate them. But you turn around and you treat your trading account that same way, without regard, without control, just crazy. So I challenge you, you know, to go and find your self-control. Find a way to discipline yourself in a manner that you can control yourself. You know, think about the same thing, your diet. I mean, what are you eating? What are you feeding yourself? Can you control that? Your time management. How are you spending your time? Do you have control over that? Your money. Do you have control over your budget? Can you save? Can you say, okay, I'm only going to spend X number of dollars? All of those things should speak to you and allow you to understand where you are as a person. And this is a me versus me thing. It's not a me versus Leandra, or me versus my brother, or me versus Selena, because those individuals have to look in the mirror and analyze themselves the same way I have to look in the mirror and analyze myself. If I don't have self-control, it's not the end of the world, but I have to go and find a way to ratchet controls down around me that make me practice self-control to get a better grip on myself, right? Because if you don't have control now as a broke person, money just enhances the person that you are, and you really won't have any control as a person with means. So everybody who has a problem over trading, it's only a self-control thing. That's it. You have a strategy that works. If you're trading God's plan, it works. You have to control self, and that's it. Once you control self, the money will pile up. And that's really all that I wanted to say on that subject. Do I have any questions? Brett. Okay, so previously I mentioned about placing your business skill or whatever you have to offer in the group. And I said I was going to create a space for that. And Leandra brought to my attention that we have that, and it's under the small business area. And I got it. Maybe you don't have a small business, but you do have a skill set, right? If you can drop your skill set in that section, it will be greatly appreciated. Maybe somebody is looking for your skill set. Maybe you can make a little money on the side. Maybe you just do something for somebody because it's nice, you know, however you want to approach that. But here's what I ask of everybody. Please understand that this is a free site and it's a free source of information. Do not bring bad business practices to the site, please. That's all I ask, because I don't want anybody in the group to be victims of scams. Okay, that's not what the group is designed for. And just remember that where we are right now is not where we're going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Maybe relationships that you sow in this group, you know, turns into profit, you know, for both parties 5 or 6 years from now. We never know who's going to start what business or who's going to be teaching a forex course, who needs help doing any of that. Just make sure that you're doing things in good faith, please. There's also an introductory section for the new people. You know, give us a short blurb of, you know, who you are, maybe where you are, your experience and all that good stuff. What's up, Landry? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Leandra.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. What did I want to say? Sorry, I'm cooking at the moment, so that's why I couldn't engage with the conversation. I'm on cooking duty this month. Hooray for me. Mum's trying to turn me into being a housewife, but I don't think it's working. Yeah, I just wanted to say to anyone who might think, oh, about Todd's hypothetical questioning, he has said this speech have been on calls to me when I've blown accounts, funded accounts, when I should have taken the profits and I didn't. And now I'm in a process of changing my mindset, my habits. That's why I haven't been on Discord for a while, because it is a self journey. And sometimes you might have to, I've had to, you know, pull back and take away things, just like when I was just thinking of the analogy. Well, when I was profitable, sorry, let me go back. When I was gaining profits, when I saw that the strategy that I was using was giving me profitability, and I was like, wow, this is working. This is really working. Like I'm, you know, winning trades consistently. This is insane. And then when I got to a funded account and passing challenges, and it was working time and time again. And I was like, wow. But then when I got to funded, it was just like it changed. I wanted more. I got greedy. And that's what needed to change. And I realized that at the end of the year, end of 2022, my goal was to get like 6 figures in cash, really. And then by the end of the year, I got funded 7 accounts in 6 months. I learned smart money concepts from February. Alexa, stop. I learned smart money concepts from February till I think it was May. I opened my first challenge account. I failed, opened another one, passed, and I opened another one, passed that. So I was funded 100K in like May, June. And then from May, June till December, I got 7 funded accounts in 6 months. And I lost all of them. I really don't want anyone to make the same mistakes that I did. I thought I could handle it. And I would ring up Todd every time I would blow one, banging my head against the wall thinking, what is wrong with me? Why can't I change my habits? Like, what am I doing wrong? And then I was always journaling as well to help me figure out what are the patterns of behavior that I need to fix to enable me to be a profitable trader. And there's always one thing that Todd used to say to me, it's like, you're disciplined, you're undisciplined, you're undisciplined. I was thinking, but I am disciplined. I'm going to the gym all the time. I'm doing, you know, I go to work on time. I am very much disciplined in my life. But then I started to think about when my mum's a cake baker, she makes cakes. When she makes cakes, she has a certain method that she knows how to make cakes without looking at the recipe every time, because she's made them for like 40 years. She knows what she measures, her flour, her butter, everything. And if anything is out of sync, and even the temperature in the oven, if when the cake comes out and anything's out of sync, she knows, right, it was because the oven was too high. Right, I've added too much butter. Right, I've added too much flour. The cake sunk. And she'll have to repeat the process again to get it just right. And it just reminded me in trading, when I was getting consistent profitability, I would think about a challenge that I had to overcome in my, let's say, previous life, like a challenge that I had to overcome, and the methods that I took to get to the success, basically. Like when I was doing fashion design, there's a certain methods that you have to stick by, apply to achieve to making a garment. Otherwise, especially when you're making a tailored garment, if you've taken the measurements wrong, the whole garment's going to be wrong. And you can't do it with the finer fabrics first. You have to do it in a practice fabric at all. So you're preparing for the fitting over preparing for the garment to be sold, because the fitting is more important than the garment being sold in the shop. So if any advice I would give to anyone is think about any past success that you've had, and what are the methods that you took to get to that success. What levels, what habits did you have to do to get to that success? And that's something that I think about all the time. Was I disciplined in that time when I was making clothes and studying fashion? Yes, I was very disciplined. No one could talk to me. And was like, yeah, you were very disciplined with your studying, like going to bed late, waking up early for work, and then going to college, studying fashion, like all of those things that I bring back to me when I'm studying forex, because I'm sure a lot of people are in the stage of their lives where they're in a career and they probably thought years ago that, oh, this is the career that I'm going to retire in. But then they've decided to do something new, which is forex or some other hobby. And then they want to take this challenge on. And it's hard to take a new challenge on if you haven't got, you need to remind yourself of your past successes and what you've achieved to keep you going and flowing in this journey of trading forex. Yes, that's just a little bit I wanted to add.
Thank you for sharing, Leandra. I'm in a unique, I guess, position to where I get a lot of the information before anybody else gets it. And a lot of times I just get it by myself because maybe the person doesn't share with you guys. I surely don't share other people's commentary or what we discuss in one-on-one sessions. But I think it's powerful that you share that struggle, Leandra. But more importantly, I want everybody to know, it's 35 people in here, that that's not just your struggle. That's everybody's struggle, man. Everybody. I blew multiple accounts. It's a constant struggle. It never ends, guys. It never goes away. When you overcome your greed demon, they don't just leave, right? They still sitting at the table. They're resting. They're waiting for the next time to jump on your shoulder. And when you see that perfect trade set up, as soon as you over leverage, you blow another account. So I don't want anybody to be mistaken or fooled into believing that you get to a point to where it just doesn't happen, because it's not the case. You have to be vigilant. You have to stay on top of this, and you have to be on guard every day. I mean, it's no different than if you live in a dangerous neighborhood. You can't come out the house and not, recognize your surroundings. Every day you have to be on your P's and Q's. So that's the importance of having rules-based trading and understanding your rules. Once you do that, you can't just jump in trades without understanding how to calculate your position size. I mean, that's very important. You can't just take trades because somebody throws a trade in the chat. It doesn't work that way. You have to do your own homework. You can't over leverage on a trade because Leandra posted a $35,000 profit this week. Doesn't work. All of those things are going to set you up to be killed. So you have to be the type of person that understands that this drill is a you versus you thing every time you go to the charts. Every time you place a trade in your MT4 or your MT5, it's a you versus you. And it has no bearing on anybody else. It's the very reason why I don't post profits in that profit section, right? I don't think that is conducive to what I'm trying to accomplish. My goal is for all 600 plus people in this group to find a level of success, right? To at least understand what's hindering them as traders. Oliver Velez, in his little diatribe there, brings up a point that 92% of people fail, and there's nothing that anybody can do. I don't necessarily subscribe that it's nothing that anybody can do. It is something that we can do. The reason why we fail, it's because of self-discipline. That's it. Because you can train a monkey to take trades, right? You can train anybody with a 12-year-old mentality can learn how to take a setup, right? You can give them a strategy, and if they go in and do exactly what they're supposed to do, they're going to be successful. The problem is this society in the United States of America, right? And I'm sure, Leandra lives in Great Britain. Any modern society has zero requirements on self-control. Now, if we lived in Iran, we're gonna practice some self-control, because they're gonna take your life if you don't follow rules. In America, ain't no rules. Ain't no rules. You can break every rule. There are little to no consequences to rule breaking in the United States of America. That is why it is 90% failure rate. If you go to these other places where they have strict rules and they follow a strict code, I guarantee you the success rate is higher, because they understand self-control. We don't have to have it. So if you understand that from jump, going into this, if I can give you anything as a trader, is if you can master yourself, you can make any amount of money you want, just by mastering yourself. So please take that and do with it what you may, okay? I want to go ahead and get through this part of the meeting so we can go ahead and analyze these charts. But do I have any questions or any
Can I
other?
just can I add something quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
That what I realized at the end of last year, and all the mistakes that I made, is that one of the main reasons I was making those mistakes is because I was rushing the journey. I was really thinking that I could, oh yeah, I'm getting profitability, I can do this really quick, No, the markets would humble me every single time. I would have been funded 350,000 in funding in 2022 if I had all of those funded accounts. Imagine 10% of 350,000 per week on Todd's strategy, because I was getting 10% at near enough every time to pass these challenges to get funded. That's insane. I wouldn't be in another job or anything like that. And then everything just came crashing down on me. What the hell am I doing? Rushing this. And then obviously Oliver Velez as well, listening to him, is that I realized that I've got to slow myself down. I've really got to rein myself in and slow myself down. This is not going to happen overnight. And, listening to Todd's journey, people on YouTube, Doyle Exchange, Charlene, talking with Sean as well, even listening to Kim, how long she's been trading for, and other people like Baba, I really clicked on me. I do listen to everyone says, but some things don't click right away. And it's I need to give myself time. So yeah, I am in a full-time job, but I prayed to God and I said, God, give me a job that's flexible with my trading, so that I can trade on the side without having to rush into the markets and have that freedom. And he's given me that, and I'm so grateful. So I have that time to study, to trade without being you know, having that anxiety to like rush and get in the markets because I've got a meeting. It's quite flexible. So I'm just saying, just give yourself time and grace. And I've spoken to a lot of people in the Discord before last year. And if you ever feel overwhelmed in these markets, take a step back and give yourself grace. Go and get your nails done. Go and get your hair done. Don't forget about the little things that make you happy, or think about why you're actually doing this. Because you want to be able to enjoy the journey. If you don't enjoy the journey, then it's not, you're just going to be, it's going to be a painful journey, basically. Just take it one day at a time. That's what I find. Just take it one day at a time. And even with my learning, take it one day at a time. Stop rushing my learning. Because I've rushed through all of ICT. And yes, I do know it, but I don't know it as I wanted to know it. So yeah, that's the only little bit I would add.
All right, thank
Hello?
you. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, and guys, we don't have to memorize everything because everything is on video now. You can always go back and brush up on what you've learned or what you need to brush up on.
Yeah, but if I did it right the first time, instead of just putting his voice on 2x mode, but now I'm so used to listening to ICT. When I listened to his 2022 back, I was like, what? Why did I even 2x this? It's actually talking a lot of obviously sense and stuff. I didn't really need to do that. But yeah, everyone's got their individual struggles at the end of the day. But yeah, that's just what happened to me. So I just wanted to help anybody who's going through the same thing and who's starting off in their smart money or ICT journey or learning God's plan. Like it might take some time, but you will get there. You will get there. Like I said, think about past success that you've had to achieve and how long did it take you to achieve it. I don't mean the process of taking out the bins. I mean a process of something that's had to challenge you and stretch you as a person in your life. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
Like tying y'all shoes. I know it took you.
Well, no, something that you can remember.
Oh, I remember. It was traumatizing.
No, oh, gosh. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah. Like I said about the process of making a cake, like when you have a recipe, and just the same with your, what is it, broccolis and chicken breasts. Every time you make it, you have a process of making it, and you know how it's going to taste. But imagine if, you know, you put it in for 15 minutes instead of 20, you're going to be eating raw chicken. You're going to be on the toilet. It's not going to, the feeling's not going to be the same. You know, the outcome's not going to be the same, sorry.
Absolutely true.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, do I have anybody else? All right, kids, I'm going to stop this recording.